Hey, what's up guys, Godstatus here. So, first off, as you guys can see by spazzing the hell out in the bottom corner, there's a 70% off Cyber Monday sale going on right now. So for credits, if you want to spend Robux to get credits, now is the time to do it. It's the cheapest it'll probably ever be. So definitely go cash out as much as you can. But, y'all remember my Scar-H video where I ranted and raved about how the gun was stupidly overpowered? I wasn't aware that the FAL was literally the same thing with no plans to be nerfed. No plans! Like, the Scar-H 3 shots currently to the body at all ranges. So does the FAL. Except the FAL also 2-hit headshots close range, which I think the Scar might do as well. Not the point. 2-hit headshots close range, which means that it is one of the strongest guns both CQC and long range. How does that work out? Like, ooh. Okay, see, I'm annoyed about this because I personally don't think there should be any fully auto weapons in this game that can 3-hit to the body at all ranges and still 2-hit to the head close range. I don't think there should be any gun that's that versatile, or like versatile, however you want to say it, that it can both ruin someone close range and ruin someone long range, because there's no downside to using this gun. What, the little bit of recoil that it has that like you barely even notice half the time? Or the fact that not many people use battle rifles, so it's hard to find ammo for it. Like, that's all. That's the only downside to using this. So, like, realistically, it's the AKM in the same sense. But, like, AKM, you have to use special ammo to get that 3-shot. You know, that's a bit more understandable. You lose the laser, you lose a little bit of accuracy, and you have to use the AP ammo. The FAL, you don't. Like, you use default setup, and you still... Okay. Alright, he's using this evens to be. Okay. You use the default setup for this gun and get the most accuracy out of it, and you still do insane amounts of damage. Like, battle rifles in this game are becoming so overpowered to the point that it just doesn't make sense anymore. Think about it like this. The M231, 2 shots at close range, right? 2-shot headshots, close range. It's the strongest CQC gun in the game. But look at the recoil it has. Now, the M231, like, yeah, you can kill someone at a lot of studs with it, but it's so much harder. It's nowhere near as accurate as, like, the FAL or the Scar-H. Now, you take the FAL or the Scar-H, it can 2-shot close range as well. It doesn't have, like, as much recoil as the M231. It still has a decent bit. However, it's not the recoil that matters. It's the fact that it's fully auto, and, like, the only reason it isn't as good as, like, a Vector or an M231 is because it's fire rate. But, like, what's the downside? Like, let's say, like, a Scar Hammer. It's accurate, it can 4-shot long ranges, and I think it, like, 3 shots to the body close range. Maybe. That's only a 3-shot, and that's a light machine gun. Like, that's supposed to be, like, the strongest of the strong, like, the top-tier gun. Or, like, the top-tier classes, like, you move extra slow with it. Like, there's downsides. You can't be as mobile. You can't reload as fast. You're not, you know, as strong as all these other guns. But the FAL is. And, like, so is the Scar-H and everything else. Like, battle rifles are becoming insane. Now, if you go to the test place, there's also another FAL being added. 2 of them. And both of them 2-shot headshot close range. So that doesn't change anything. And both of them 3 to 4-shot long range. Now, 4-shot long range doesn't matter to me. Like, I think that's perfectly fine. Even if you have to hit 3 headshots, that doesn't matter to me, because that's harder to do than 3 body shots. Even if you have to hit 3 headshots, that's perfectly fine, because that takes more accuracy. What are the downsides to using the FAL other than its its rate of fire, which is a little bit slower than most guns, and then the little bit of extra recoil it has compared to some guns? Like, for example, there's so many things that really should be nerfed. The All-Gay one with AP is a laser beam, and it 4 shots to the body at all ranges. Like, why is that allowed? The FAL is a little bit, like, less accurate. Now, controlling the FAL's recoil isn't that hard once you get used to it, as is the same with any gun. When you get used to the gun's recoil, it isn't that hard to control. I main the G36. The G36 used to be 10 times as accurate. Now it's not. It got nerfed. The accuracy is a little bit nerfed, but you can still control it very easily. It can still do exactly what you need it to do. Teammate, please kill him. But you can still do exactly what you need with the G36. And that was considered too strong, but, like, it was considered too strong and had to be nerfed. But what about, like, the All-Gay one, for example? Or, like, I don't know, the L85, which is more accurate than a G36 and can suppress 4-shot cross map. What about the AKM that isn't really that hard to control, and it can 3-shot cross map, as long as you hit torso and not, like, limbs? Like, where are the balance changes coming where they actually, you know, impact the game in a positive way? Where are these new guns coming from that aren't extremely overpowered and rather are balanced. Like, when's the last time, and I asked this in like the Stylist Discord, nobody had a real answer for me, so I'm gonna ask this here in case anyone sees and would like to comment. What is the last gun that was added to this game that wasn't either extremely overpowered or extremely useless? And like, that's an honest question. When was the last gun added that wasn't extremely overpowered or extremely useless? Like, where has there been a gun that fit into the game that became meta but it wasn't super overpowered? Because I can't think of one at all. Like, we're not talking about like when guns got rebalanced. I'm talking about when a brand new gun was added. Even some of the rebalances, when are the like nerfs and stuff that have made a gun balanced rather than killed it? For example, the like AKM nerf, we all wanted to get rid of the 3-shot at all ranges, except it didn't do that. It just made it so you had to hit all torso shots, which sure, that's like a slight nerf, but that's not what anyone wanted. Everyone from who I ever spoke to wanted the 3-shot kill gone, but everyone that I had spoken to wanted the 3-shot kill gone from the AKM. But even if you keep the 3-shot kill on the AKM, you use a special ammo, which means that you lose a little bit of damage close range, you know what I mean? Or let's say the G36 is a 5-shot, like 4 to 5-shot cross map to the torso, but if you use AP, it becomes a 4-shot. If you use the AUG A1, it's what, 5 cross map? But if you use AP, it becomes a 4-shot. You're getting advantages, whereas with guns like the FAL and the Scar-H, or even the AG3, there's no downside to it. You don't have to use a special ammo to achieve those 3 or 4-shot kills. You just get those automatically. Now granted, you're 10 bullets less than an AR, but like, what does that really matter? You're not going for like, they have super slow reloads. So what does 10 bullets really mean in this scenario? I don't see any downsides to using these guns. You practice with them for a little bit, you learn the recoil, and you could do just as good with these guns at long range as you can with any other gun. So like, look at how strong this is. It's, oh my god. I don't see any downsides to using a gun like the Scar-H or the FAL compared to other guns. Even LMGs will not 2-hit headshot close range, and they will not 3-hit to the body at max ranges, and you run slower with them. I'm fairly sure. I could be wrong in that, but like, you run slower. You reload a lot slower than the FAL. Like, what is this gun and the Scar-H's downside? Now the Scar-H is apparently getting nerfed, but like, we don't know the exact details on that or what the nerf will actually do. So what is to stop battle rifles from becoming like literally the strongest class in the game that nobody can beat? Like, let me use the AK-47 for example. I don't know how many kills or how many bullets it takes to kill someone at long range. However, if you throw HP on it 2 shots to the head close range, that is balanced because you lose damage at long range. You lose a lot of damage at long range. The FAL and I think the Scar-H, at 2 shots to the head close range without losing that long range damage. Like, what is the point of having ammo types if we're not using them? What is the point of trying to balance guns if there is no balance in it, and it's literally just, they're making guns that are constantly overpowered and making the game more fast-paced than it needs to be. And whenever guns become overpowered, they ruin them. Now, I'm not telling you to ruin the FAL. I don't want it nerfed to the ground like every other gun has been. I just want it balanced. I don't think it should be able to 2-shot close range and then 3-shot to the body at all ranges. At least make it require 1 or 2 headshots. Like, at least make it require something that has skill in it. Don't just make it so that anyone can pick up this gun and just 3-tap you to the body long range, because that's what DMRs do. That is what semi-auto DMRs do, not guns that you could full auto across the map. My point is, I personally, and you're allowed to have your own opinions on this. Completely. That is fine. Have your own opinions, argue with me, give me comments about what you think should happen. That is perfectly fine. I just like to express mine. But I don't believe that this game should be able to 3-shot full auto across the map, because we haven't had it that much in the past. In the past, when the Scar-H was 3-shot across the map, it got nerfed, right? The Scar-H got buffed, it's getting nerfed again, because it 3-shots across the map with good accuracy. What is the difference with the FAL? Like, be 100% real with me. What the difference with the FAL is compared to the Scar-H, other than a little bit of like recoil differences. Like, the FAL might have a little bit more recoil. Other than that, what makes the FAL any different from the Scar-H, and why does the Scar-H deserve to be nerfed but not the FAL? Why does the AKM deserve to be nerfed but not the FAL? Why are we adding another FAL into this game that will still in turn be able to 3-shot across the map? Does that make any sense to anyone? And I would love to talk about this with people, but like, I don't see how this makes any sense that we're going to keep adding 3-shot guns. And if the solution is to buff other guns, then everything's just becoming a lot more fast-paced. That wasn't what, like, that wasn't PF for the longest times. Things weren't super fast-paced. It was, you know, there were some guns that excelled CQC like a PDW should. And then there's guns like the LMGs that excel long range with good accuracy, high ammo, and decent kill times like they should. But last time I checked, a battle rifle is not supposed to dominate every single distance of gunfire with no competition. Now, of course, the M231 or the Vector is going to beat out a battle rifle close range simply because rate of fire, and that's understandable, but they should not have the ability to compete that easily, if you know what I mean. Like, an LMG still requires those 3 headshots in close range. This requires 2, and they shoot at similar speeds. Like, let me pull this up real quick. I don't care about the death. We're gonna pull this up and just compare stats quickly. We take the FAL, for example. It has 700 rate of fire, can 2-shot to the head, 3-shot body, full range. Let's take the Scar-Hammer. It has less rate of fire than the FAL, it's more accurate, however, it can't 3-shot to the body at all ranges, and it can't 2-hit headshot, and it shoots slower. You take the H-bar, can it 3-shot headshot at all ranges? Let's pull up a calculator. 1.4, I don't believe it can, however, we're gonna find out. 1.4 times 35. No, the AUG H-bar can't 3-shot headshot at all ranges. Has better accuracy, however, it doesn't. You take the RPK-74, you throw hollow point on it, again, you are actually using the mechanics of ammo, and then it can 2-shot close range. However, look at how much damage it does at a distance. What is the balance here? What is the thought process behind making everything in this game 10 times more fast-paced and ruining the, like, overall flow of the game? I don't remember in a time of me playing this game that I would have ever considered PF a fast-paced FPS. I would have never considered it a super fast-paced, 3-shot everyone, like, now, CQC on any game is considered fast-paced. You get those headshots, they'll die quickly on literally any game. You play Call of Duty, it's fast-paced close range. You play, I don't know, Battlefield. Even if you're running, like, close-range guns on Battlefield, it's still more fast-paced. But you are taking a rifle, a battle rifle, a fully auto gun that shoots faster than LMGs, and making it 10 times stronger. What is the logic behind that? Now, I've tried talking about this with people, however, there hasn't been, like, any real solution to this. I'm not a balanced person. It's not my job. I'll freely express my opinions, and I'd be happy to try to help, but if there's, like, I talked about this in Stylus yesterday, right? And I'm not going to mention names here or anyone. It's not a witch hunt. You don't need to go hunt people down. Talked about this in Stylus, and I was told that I am showing, like, gun preference and favoritism towards guns because I want the FAL and Scar-H nerfed. But the only guns that I want nerfed are 3-shot all-range guns. I never said go buff my G36 again. I never said go buff the FAMAS again back to what it was in, like, CPFL. I never said go buff all these other guns. I'm not telling you to affect any of the guns that I actually like. I don't use the FAL. I don't use the Scar-H. I very well could use it and abuse it, but it's just straight up scummy. Like, if I wanted to play a fast-paced game, I would go play something else. I don't want 3-shot all ranges. I don't want people coming into this game and instantly being nuts at it simply because you're giving them the tools that if they suck at a video game, they can instantly become as good as everyone else just because they need to land 3 shots instead of 4 or 5. Just because they don't need to aim for the head, and you are handing them the tools, and you were, like, even, like, for example, removing or, like, putting ladders on, like, Desert Storm to get on top of buildings and things like that, I was kind of bothered by it because it's not like super jump was an unknown thing. Shift jump X is not a unknown thing. Shift jump ZZ at the time was kind of unknown. It wasn't, like, super hard to find out, but it wasn't a super popular thing. But, like, you can't tell me that, like, you made it easier so that people can climb ladders rather than just doing a simple jump. Like, that's, like, the competitive side of me talking, and, like, it's an update, it's fine. It really didn't change the game much at all, but it's making the game 100 times more noob friendly. And by that, I mean, like, anyone can come onto this game and simply practice and get better at it. That is not an issue. But if you want someone to come onto your game and instantly be handed everything they need to become a really good player just because you are handing them guns that are stupidly overpowered, if you aren't willing to nerf the FAL or, like, the AKM to 4-hit, or if you're not willing to make it, like, 3-hit headshot all ranges rather than 3-hit body, Why did you nerf the FAMAS? Why did you nerf the G36? Why did you nerf, like, I don't know what else has been extremely overpowered in the past. Why did you nerf the Vector but leave the M231? Because the M231 has a downside. These guns do not. Like, you nerf those other guns because they didn't have downsides and they didn't have anything that wasn't worth using. The Vector was extremely strong. You could throw silencer and a hollow point on it, it had insane accuracy, and it was way too strong. I fully agree with that. Nerf the Vector. That's fine. The Vector could gunfight at 150-200 studs because of its accuracy, and it could still hold its own against ARs because of its fire rate. Now it's slightly nerfed, it's not as strong as it used to be, and there's reason behind that. What is the reason behind not nerfing this? What is the reason behind you don't want these guns being super overpowered, but you're gonna leave guns that are 3 times as strong at all ranges in here? Like, this blows my mind. I am genuinely pissed about this. I got onto the test place yesterday to make that video, and it made me lose hope for this game. It genuinely made me not want to play this game in the future. Because all it did was show me that we're going to turn this game into something that it hasn't been, and guns aren't getting nerfed or guns are staying stupidly overpowered because they're listening to a very small minority of people. Now, granted, I am one person, but you also need to think that I am playing this game for balance. Like I said, I'm not coming on here, I'm not telling people to rebuff my favorite gun. I have 90,000 kills on the G36. Don't rebuff it. It was stupidly broken back then. Do not make it 4-shot with the accuracy it used to have. Make it a 5-shot. Who cares? Give it accuracy, lower its damage. That's fine. I fully support that. The Vector, super overpowered. It had insane damage, insane fire rate, insane accuracy. Nerf it. The FAL has insane damage, decent fire rate, and pretty good accuracy. Where's the nerf? Where do you find that it is okay to leave the FAL in the game, but not the Scar-H, but not the AKM? Where are you going to, like, what is the point of not nerfing one gun and then forcing yourself to have to buff every other gun in the game? How does that make sense? Yes, I'm very annoyed about this, if you couldn't tell. Yes, I think this is so dumb. I don't think they have done a good update in the longest time. There hasn't been a good update for guns in so long. There hasn't been any new guns in the meta in so long. Again, name one gun that came into this game that wasn't stupidly overpowered and wasn't actually trash at the game. Like, what gun came into this game and added a genuine balance to it, and it could compete and hold its own in a certain category and not dominate every single one at once? Which gun? Like, in all honesty, be real with me. When I asked this in Silas Discord yesterday, there was literally answers of like, this was kind of okay, or like, you could use this, but there was never one definitive answer out of anyone in that conversation. No one. Because there hasn't been anything. Like, what is the point of doing all these updates? Why not just nerf 1 or 2 guns and keep the game flow the way it's been for years, rather than just instantly have to nerf no guns and then make the game super fast paced and you're gonna have to buff everything else? Why do we want to, like, the one possible solution, and again, I'm not naming anyone, I'm not telling anyone to attack anyone. I don't want anyone to be attacked for this. I'm just voicing my opinion. You're allowed to have your own. Nobody has to go out and speak for me. I can speak for myself. What is the one solution that I was suggested was that we buff all the PDWs and look at their usage. But why? That still doesn't solve the solution that the FAL is insanely strong at every single range. It doesn't solve the solution, or it doesn't solve the problem, excuse me, that the Scar-H is insanely strong at every range. It won't solve the problem that every other FAL you're adding into this game will be extremely strong at every range. They don't have that much recoil. Like, I'm at a loss for words. I'm genuinely annoyed about this, and I would pay money for them to do one decent gun update that doesn't absolutely ruin the game. Because I don't know about you guys, and again, you can have your own opinion. You do not need to agree with mine. You can argue mine all you want. That is perfectly fine. Everyone's entitled to it. But can you sit here and realistically say that you think the gun I'm using in this video is a balanced weapon? Look at the accuracy on it. Look at the damage it does. That means in a full mag, you 3-hit cross map, and you can get upwards of 6 kills in 1 mag with full accuracy. So, or even 7 if you two-shot someone CQC. So you can get a maximum of 7 kills in 1 mag with a fully auto gun, and nobody can beat you at a range. If you were talking 100% accuracy, like FAL versus any other like fully auto gun at long range, other than like maybe the VSS, you lose every single time. I dropped 130 kills this game while ranting my ass off, and I've been pissed the entire time. I've barely been trying to go for kills. I'm sitting here ranting. Tell me you think this is fair. The battle rifles in this game are going to absolutely ruin it, and it genuinely makes me not want to play this game. And there is no current plans to nerf it. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm pissed. I want to know your opinions. Let me know in the comments.